Hello and welcome back to Tidbit of Torah. Let me tell you about how I ended up going for a run with my 4-year-old. The other night I was putting Maytal to bed, and after we read a story, just before singing Shema together and tucking her inside her covers, she said, "Ima, can we take Betty's our dog, for a walk?" And I said, "You know what? I think now is time to close our eyes and go to sleep and sing Shema. But tomorrow we can take Betty for a walk." Well, little did I know, at 6 o'clock, she was up, dressed with her shoes on, just as I was ready to go out for my typical morning run with Betty the dog. Maytal was standing at the door. "Ima, I'm ready. Let's go." I smiled, thinking about how I had gotten myself into this pickle, and weighed the options: disappoint her and go for a nice run, or make an exception and let her come with me this time, because without meaning to, I had given her an idea that I was inviting her on my morning exercise routine. So I thought, you know what? What the heck? I'm going to just go for it. So Maytal, Betty, and I all went out. It was quite a comical scene running around the neighborhood. I can't say it was the most satisfying exercise experience, but it certainly did give our neighbors a good chuckle, seeing the golden retriever, Maytal, and I running around the neighborhood. Well, I share this story because it's just one of so many examples about the power and intention of words, or Devarim, which is the book of the Torah, which we begin this week, and also the name of our Torah portion. Words are incredibly powerful. In fact, the blessing we say when we are going to study Torah is Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Thanking God for these mitzvot, these spiritual opportunities that we get, including that of engaging in the divrei, the words, or could also be translated as the things of Torah. These words of Torah also come up in a major way as Moses is giving his final speeches. Moses is moving towards retirement, towards passing over into the next world, just as the Israelites are working towards transitioning into the promised land. And much of the book of Devarim is exactly that: words of memory, retelling, and also words to set the tone for the leadership, the values, and the way that the Jewish people will live for centuries and centuries following. I also think about words at this time of year as we occupy the crater, spiritually and emotionally, of the Jewish calendar, the 9 days of the Hebrew month of Av, as we anticipate the 9th of Av, which will begin this Saturday night into Sunday, in which we commemorate many tragedies in our communal Jewish history, including the destructions of the temple, in which words played a role. The rabbis of the Talmud attribute the destruction of the temple to sinat chinam, to causeless hatred. When we think about the world and the hatred, we can't think about it about not only as something that is about deeds, although our actions play a major role, but also the role that words play in promoting and propagating hate in our world. And so as we head into these 9 days, and as we move forward from this period that culminates in the high holidays, a time of teshuvah, of returning, of asking for forgiveness, of reflecting on how we have used and misused words over this past year, I invite us to head into occupying this world of Devarim, this world of words. What are the stories that we want to retell from this past year, and how do we want to retell them? What are the deeds that we want to reflect on, and what are the words that we used that we want to apologize for and be more careful about how we use them? Not only so that we may end up going on an unexpected run with our 4-year-old, but also to think about the damage that might be caused when we think about how we might be using our words and measuring them by the impact that they cause on others. I want to wish you a Shabbat Shalom. May we all be thoughtful in our relationship with Devarim, with words and the people in our lives.